early, right? Like my parents go to church, I go to church, real easy, grow up, standard, Sundays, Wednesdays, events, etc. Life was life. Stuff happens, bad things, good things, whatever. I didn't really have like a big, major fallout breakdown for the Lord to get my attention. There was, as actually like in the most cliche way possible, to be incredibly honest. I was on I think it was a youth camp, as a matter of fact. And it was just like one of those things where my attention was arrested. So I go from like a year of full-blown paying as much attention to anything biblical, churchish, goddish as I possibly could. But it wasn't like the same time my mind was arrested, my heart wasn't arrested. That didn't happen until about a year later, in a completely different place. So like my curiosity and my wonder was activated super early, but my affection was late. You know what I mean? So once that picked up and the two of them kind of joined forces, it was like, whew, yo, I don't even know where this is going, but I like it. So just kind of rolled with it. I got into a bunch of conversations, as many groups and hangouts and discussions and home churches and whatever I could to kind of feed what it was that I was feeling really hungry for, you know, and ended up moving from the church that I'd grown up at to a different one that kind of satiated all those needs in one. I wasn't going to 11 different places anymore. It was all kind of sat and seated in one place. So I got submitted to authority. I got surrounded by a good group of people that loved Jesus. And I developed in the Lord. I mean, it's been a full-blown, it's 100% the effect of good leadership, godly surroundings, and the grace of the Lord to grow and to flourish and to learn and to understand and all those types of things. So, you know, whereas before there was no real major pinpointed, like I had this specific issue or that specific issue. Like I was 16 when that happened, like when the Lord really snatched me up. So like I was dealing with regular 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old stuff, right? Like I was frustrated and angry and confused and what, you know, just everything that kind of deals with until it wasn't even immediately clarity. It was really just peace. But you know how like the Lord will, you'll go through and he'll sanctify and renew. So then like all those things that were being dealt with in the first place, before I even realized why they were being dealt with, the first thing that come to my heart was they don't even matter. Like that was the first thing that pushed me into beyond, I think is a good way to say it. I wasn't really sweating all the stuff that everybody else is sweating, and that it was stand out and stand alone in a cool way. But you know, you realize that once it's maybe one out of every so many people that are in that same mind frame. So everything from there on out was really not isolated, but it was minimal. You know, the few people that I had that thought that way were the only people that I hung out with. I was able very easily, I think it was actually the Lord doing it for me, to separate from the distractions and the frustrations and the small pitfalls and things like that, and pick up with people that were seasoned and grew me like super fast. So now I'm in a place that, well, of course, like here, you know, like being here with this company, you're aware of what goes on here. So I'm in a place where we can pour into people, raise people up. I mean, I know our motto, and we hold to it very tightly, is the rescue, equip, send. And that, you know, that goes from the street to recovery to discipleship to continual growth to whatever else. So I get to participate in that, which is a blast. My whole family loves the Lord, which is a blast. I've got a wife that loves the Lord, which is a blast, you know, and we get to serve in multiple capacities, leadership and not, things that people will see all the time because of where we're at, and things that people will never know about, that I'll never even talk about because it's just the Lord doing the Lord. But it is awesome. So awesome to come from something that was really boxy and I really didn't understand, to understanding, after understanding that the Lord is not boxy God. You know what I mean? That's not what he does. He's very free and flowing, and that's the way that we get to move now in who Jesus has called us to be. Not just, you know, trying to tick stuff off and make sure that I'm meeting A, B, and C requirement, but being in the Lord, going from point A to point B, and maybe skipping from point B to point G before I know what's going on. But he, you know, he's got everything right where he wants it. We're moving in a good direction, and love where I'm at. It's super cool to see what God's done, is doing, plans to do, things of that nature.